Taurus rising, there's a total solar eclipse in your fourth house of Leo. What will that mean for you specifically? I'm Sook Boy, you're awesome. Let's talk about it. In astrology, an eclipse is considered a pretty significant event. It symbolizes major beginnings and major endings. For you Taurus rising, the majority of eclipses will take place in your fourth and your 10th house. Now, if you would like an in-depth reading about that, I've got you covered. It covers the next 18 months. Go for a scroll, it's directly under this one. Just find Taurus rising the next 18 months. For this particular video, I want to focus on the total solar eclipse in Leo, happening on the 12th of August or the 13th of August, depending on where you are in the world. Immediately, you could ask yourself, who is the most domineering figure in your family, your home, or living situation? What is the status quo of your home, family, living situation? This could include the dominant parent that you had a relationship growing up with, for example. Now, I'm not saying this eclipse will activate a major change in your home, family, or living situation, but over the next 6 months, 18 months, you could begin to recognize a pattern. Now, the stereotypes of this kind of eclipse for you could mean you're moving, you're renovating, you're refinancing your home. People are moving in and out of your home. Maybe they're coming back from an overseas trip or they're coming back from college, something like that. Quietly, what is the status quo? What are the conversations that you need to have that may include being overwhelmed by taking on too many domesticated duties, needing to voice the facts versus opinions and actually delegate those roles and responsibilities evenly amongst everyone else? Or is there someone else in the home that's actually going to ask you to take on more responsibilities because they believe you haven't been lifting your weight? Now, your chart rule of Venus is in a favorable position. It's in the 6th house of Libra. So it's in its dignity. And it's forming a grand trine with Pluto up in your 10th house and Uranus in your 2nd house. These are known as practical houses, and they all kind of contribute to your career path forward, your public reputation, your job, and also your financial situation. Now, Venus, Uranus, and Pluto are in a grand trine, meaning things are changing in these areas of the chart. And because they're in air signs, it's probably worth having a conversation, potentially a conversation that you've been putting off for some time. The Venus is opposing Neptune in your 6th house of Aries. Now, this could mean that potentially you've been escaping responsibilities. Someone in the home has been escaping responsibilities. Someone is not being accountable, potentially. Someone's a little bit delusional. This can also signify that you've been caring for someone, that someone's been rehabilitating themselves, potentially trying to wean themselves off substance abuse. Potentially you were that person. Look, I'm not sure, you tell me. Have you been responsible for being the caretaker of someone else? Have they been suffering some kind of sickness or injury? How is this impacting your life direction forward? Is this stunting your growth, so to speak? Now, Saturn, the ruler of your 12th house and ruling over this north node, which has also got everything to do with this eclipse, is sitting in your 12th house. It's very productive in the 12th house, but it can take on a lot. And it's about the invisible work you do that not everyone can see. Or potentially if you've been nursing some kind of injury or mental health issue, maybe it's time to talk about that, especially if you're feeling burnt out. This is probably giving you a lot of pressure and stress at work, and potentially you're not even being recognized for the job you do at work. Potentially you feel undervalued. And again, this could give you the perfect opportunity to actually confront that issue if you haven't brought it up yet. In other words, someone's physical health, someone's mental health is definitely highlighted in this eclipse. And if it hasn't been confronted yet and you do need to, challenge the status quo and have that rather difficult conversation, or maybe it's a good conversation, this is the perfect time to do it. Creativity, your relationship with children, your own self-expression, your passions, your interests, they're very much highlighted. Potentially you've finished nursing a young child, maybe they're going to daycare, and that means you can return to the workforce. Or perhaps you're considering leaving the workforce and actually pursuing a personal interest, maybe thinking about some entrepreneurship or some kind of creative pursuit. And again, the logistics around this, how does this actually pan out and how does this affect other people's circumstances? Both Mercury and Jupiter are conjunct in your 4th house. Now, this is an angular house. Again, it's about your private world, your home, your family, your living situation, potentially the dominant parent or your parents in general. Now, this conjunction is really favorable for being more discerning about facts versus opinions. Who's people pleasing? Who's the provider? Jupiter rules your 8th house of shared assets, and Mercury rules your 2nd house of your own livelihood and your access to resources. In a nutshell, the status quo of the home, living situation, and potentially the career with you, spouse, someone you live with, look, I'm not sure, It's very much being challenged, and you can have the conversation now, or you can wait for the conversation to be had with you. In other words, it's the perfect time to take the initiative, lead by example, motivate, inspire others with your actions and your words if you have the chance or opportunity to do so. As a thank you for watching this entire video, please feel free to send me a DM. I'll send you a coupon code for 30 Australian dollars off my natal and birth chart readings exclusively for new clients. Only love, positive vibes always. Hope that helps. Okay, bye.